So I recently received an email from a guy. I hope he's a subscriber. We're going to call him TC because I don't want to use his name, mainly because there was some maybe less than positive feedback that he was sharing in that email. And I genuinely hope that he gets an opportunity to watch this video because I do want to address some of his points. As well, I want to address this video that was made by Tyler Short. It's the one here on the screen. And the main reason why I'm addressing this video is TC had mentioned this video as he was questioning, providing constructive feedback related to his disagreement with some of my prior market analysis and referenced that Tyler's video was more accurate than mine. So we'll get to Tyler's video here in just a moment. Today's video, we're going to be talking a lot about Terapeak. We're going to actually dig very deep into Terapeak because I see some errors with Tyler's data analysis. And so we'll kind of address that. And that'll get to the heart of what TC's concerns were. At least in my opinion, it gets to the heart of what TC's concerns were. But I want to be very clear and kind of, reset a position about the overall sports card marketplace in the here and now, what I believe 2024 looks like, and where we've come since the pandemic spike. So in the here and now, I made a video, I believe at the beginning of the year, where I basically addressed that between January and March, I fully expect we're going to see a upward trajectory in the overall marketplace. Now, that's across the four major sports: football, baseball, basketball, hockey. In prior videos, I've addressed why I typically only talk about those four sports. And then when we think about the sports card market space, when I address the sports card market space, I talk about those four because the other sports, the WWFs, WWEs, F1s, NASCAR, golf, tennis, soccer, those sports are a fraction of the overall market cap when we look at the individual sports as individual market caps. And then we look at the sports card hobby as a greater market cap. It's, I would point you guys to that video that I made a couple of months ago and basically, have you identify for yourself that, those sports just generally don't make up a large portion of the greater market cap. So in 2024, I am actually bullish. I'm bullish when I made that video at the beginning of the year. I'm bullish today. I actually think we could see 2024 being a positive, a green year from an overall market perspective. And I've made that other video, so I've been on record. This is now the second time that I'm mentioning this. When we look at the trend to kind of plot out my perspective of what I think we're going to see, we will continuously see positive upward momentum between now and March, some point or some period around the March timeframe, give or take. We will get a flattening period, which will run us through August to September. This is based upon just your typical trending analysis that we see in the sports card market, obviously devoid of the pandemic year, which was an anomaly in the data. But we will see a high season is how you could probably think of that between March and the beginning of fall. And then as we move into fall sports, kind of in that September timeframe, September, October, November, December, historically are weak months. In that prior video that I made, I shared December was an anomaly from a 2023 perspective. That's a good news story for the overall marketplace. And we're continuing to see positive momentum. And you're going to see some of that positive momentum in some of the data I want to share with you guys today. So that's I want to set that table. Prior to the forward analysis, we have been trending down. I think it's clear in any market analysis that you guys look at, but we have been trending down since 2021 into 2022, 2022 into 2023, these were down years. We've seen weakness in the market. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't individual cards or individual players. Shohei Ohtani would be a prime example. He has bucked the trend specifically in 2023. There's reasons why that takes place. So just because the market's moving down doesn't necessarily mean that players don't move down or they're not moving up, excuse me, or that segments of the market or, the Super Bowl winning team won't see a positive spike in key players. That's reality. Is we'll always see the ups and downs, even when the greater market is trending one direction or the other. Getting to Tyler's video, the one that's here on the screen. Now, I will first of all share with you guys, I am a fan of what Tyler has put out. Specifically, I'm going to encourage you guys to go take a look at this video. It was made about a month ago, as you guys can see. I am a new subscriber to Tyler's channel. As you can see, I've thumbs up this video. I've thumbs up many of his videos in the last week or two as I was reintroduced to his channel. And I say reintroduced because I'm pretty confident that I had seen one of Tyler's videos in the last year. And I don't know why that video didn't necessarily resonate with me, but this video specifically resonated with me. And I cannot recommend Tyler's channel enough. I think he's making good content. I do have a concern with some of what the data is representing on the screen, and I'm going to address that today. And so this is not a pot shot or an attack at Tyler. I am encouraging you guys to go watch his content and subscribe to his channel. As I've already mentioned, I have done just that myself, and I will be watching his future content myself. In Tyler's video, kind of the heart of what he is referencing is he has pulled together between 100 and 150 total players across most of the major sports. This includes soccer. Certainly there was, and he talks about this in the video, there was a certain number of them that were baseball, football, basketball, and I believe soccer. I don't know that he had Tiger Woods in here, but regardless, he's getting, for the most part, the vast majority of the key players and the market movers, the names that you and I would consider the market movers, both historical names and modern players. So from Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, all the way to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, all the way to Joe Burrow and Luka Doncic and Messi and others. What he's trying to do is put a market cap associated with those individual players. And this is where I think that there's a flaw in the data. And this is, I think, what TC's concern was, because TC heard and or interpreted Tyler's data differently than I heard and interpreted Tyler's data. And so I want to be very specific about the data, because I think Tyler took a wonderful approach. And so I want to reuse Tyler's approach in essence, and I want to refine the data, because I think what Tyler has done, and I'm going to prove why I believe this here in just a second, but what I believe Tyler has done is a Terapeak search. He mentions he's only using Terapeak data. Terapeak is eBay data. We'll talk about that here in a moment. He's used Terapeak data, but he's searching, I believe, on the athlete's name. The problem with that is if he's searching Michael Jordan and he's trying to put a market cap around Michael Jordan's name, well, he's not only getting sports cards, but he's getting sports cards. He's getting Air Jordan shoes. He's getting apparel. He's getting memorabilia. He's getting jersey sales. He's getting any eBay transaction during whatever period of time he's looking at that has Michael Jordan's name associated with it. Some of that could be condoms, for God's sake. Who knows? If somebody put Michael Jordan on it, it would show up on the search that Tyler has done. And I think he's done that. I don't know that he would inadvertently did it for negative reasons or for whatever reason that led him to that conclusion. It may be because it's difficult to scrub down to just sports cards. But today I want to take an opportunity to help you guys understand, when we're talking about a sports card market, which that's the essence of Tyler's video. The title of it is Biggest Sports Card Market Winners and Losers. So he should be talking about sports card data and not data that's representing shoes and apparel and anything and everything under the sun associated with these athletes. Michael Jordan's going to have the biggest influence here because historically Michael Jordan's marketing and brand has been greater than sports cards. And you'll see that when we look at a couple of the different athletes in some of the data analysis that I want to take you guys through. But in the data, I want to take a moment and we're going to take a look at a couple of athletes. We're going to start with Michael Jordan. And as you can see in Tyler's data, Michael Jordan is the very top line. Again, I would encourage you guys to go watch this video for yourself. And I want to point out before we get into the heart of this, the 2023 annual spend associated with Michael Jordan. And this is in the millions of dollars. So there was a market cap associated with Michael Jordan of $79 million last year, specifically $79,804,000 is what Tyler is reflecting in his data. We'll also take a look at Tom Brady and we'll take a look at Shohei Ohtani very specifically because that's the #1 football player in Tyler's data set. It's the #1 basketball player in Tyler's data set, and it's the #1 baseball player as it's represented in a market cap analysis. So that's why I chose those three. I was going to do the top 10, but I needed to get this video out and made because I have some things coming forward in my life, some travel and various things. And if I didn't make this video now, it just wasn't going to get made. So I pared it down to just those three. But as we go through the data, I think you guys will get the gist of why I think that there's improvement or room for improvement by refining some of the data analysis. But for right now, I want you guys to keep in mind that $79 million number associated with Michael Jordan's 2023 annual spend or market cap. What I want to take you guys through is this data here. And let me go ahead. This is Terapeak for folks that may not be familiar with it. Again, Terapeak is the exact same data that everybody has access to. Let me just go to a Google search, and you guys, going to Google, you type in Terapeak, and it's the very top search for anybody who's not familiar. If you have an eBay account, you need to be logged into your eBay account for this to work effectively, but you're going to click on this blue bar for anybody who's not familiar. And what that's going to do is take you to it looks like eBay because Terapeak is associated with the eBay sales portal. And from here in the research product search categories, you can type in lots of things. You can type in searches. You can be very specific or very vague. And what I believe Tyler has done in his market research is he's typed in Michael Jordan's name, and he has the date structure set between the 1st of January 2023 through the 31st of December 2023. So that's a 1-year period of time. By the way, that is a custom. You can certainly do a 7-day, 30-day, 90-day, 60-day, or 6-month, 1 year, so on and so forth. The maximum amount of time that you can look back is 3 years. That's very critical because if you guys want to go mimic Tyler's data, there is a limitation that I'll make you aware of here in a moment. But in the custom search, we've selected that and we've put in the the time frame of the 1st through the 31st. That's 365 days. And when we hit research, it shows $79 million worth of total market cap associated with a Michael Jordan search. The problem with this, again, it's showing all the sold listings across a period of time. When we look at that, you're going to see there's shoes encompassed in this. There's trading cards. There's a DVD that's encompassed in this. There's unopened packs and boxes that's encompassed in this search. There's baseball cards, specifically Topps Chrome baseball from 2023 that's in this search, which it shouldn't be. And unfortunately, a search like this, I believe, and I am going to tag Tyler, and I would encourage him to leave in the description below. Or if Tyler watches this video and he has any interest in maybe doing a collab together, I'd be more than happy to add him into a podcast, whether on his channel or my channel. And I'd love to kind of talk through data analysis with him because I think he's got a wonderful way and a wonderful approach about this. I think it'd be an interesting video to kind of do with Tyler. But so Tyler, from me to you, this is an open invite. But when we look at this, if you want to understand a market cap for anything associated with Michael Jordan's name, including products that probably aren't associated with Michael Jordan's name, like Topps Chrome baseball cards from 2023, then putting in a very general search of an athlete's name will give you a market cap. However, I want to point out again, in Tyler's video, if you go watch it, I'm encouraging you guys to go watch it for yourself. He's talking about this from a sports card market cap perspective, and he titles the video about the biggest sports card winners and losers, but yet he's talking about market caps that clearly, based upon the research I've done, are really a greater market cap than just the sports card market. So that's a major concern for me. So how can we improve upon that? That's really the first positive kind of, lesson that I want to try and help impart on you guys. For anybody who's either not comfortable with Terapeak, maybe brand new to Terapeak, or wants to learn advanced search skills from a Terapeak perspective, how can we improve upon this in case you want to go replicate what Tyler is doing in his video? Well, the first thing we can do is select a category. And I would encourage you guys to click this, select a different category. And the first drop down, at least for me, I'm assuming it's going to be the same for you, shows sports mem, cards, and fan shop. There's about 624,000 active queries in that category. And those are active queries, by the way. If you drop that down, you're going to be presented a number of different options. And I would encourage you guys to select sports trading cards. There's 555,000 queries associated with that. And I would encourage you guys not to refine that any further. That's the level that I'd encourage you guys to start with. So click apply. And what this is going to do is it's going to take anything that's in that. There's multiple categories here. There's the fan shop category, the sports mem, trading cards and fan shop category. Then there's the sports trading cards category. You could refine that down to boxes, singles, lots, sets. There's other categories. We want to try and get to the most relevant category. Now, does that mean that this search is perfect? Absolutely not. We're going to continue to refine this down, but I want to be clear. When somebody lists a posting, say they're selling a Michael Jordan rookie card and they happen to have it listed in the videos and DVD section, there's nothing that we can do to try and encompass that. That's just a bad listing, a bad category selected by the seller. And there's nothing we can do about that. So I would estimate that there's about a 10% plus minus deviation that you need to understand with the data sets, the metrics that we're going to be pulling. There's going to be miscategorized cards that we don't pull in with our refinements. And that may be Tyler's logic as to why he was trying to be as vague as he was. But I believe when we're talking about the sports card market, we need to get closer to the sports card market. I would also take a moment to say, this is a concern. The exact same refinement concern is the problem I personally see with Card Ladder and with Sports Card Investors Market Mover tool. Their categorization concerns are, I've seen too many issues with their listings that they're pulling into their database. For me, there's scrubbing. For many of you guys that have watched the channel for some time, you know that I've historically pulled data. I use the eBay's API and other APIs and other ways to pull data from some of the major auction houses. And I collect this data for my own personal use. So I have my own database and my own personal structure of which I scrub that data. I have a number of different scripts that I have created to scrub that data to try and provide me with what I believe is the best data source for me to use. And arguably, probably the best data source out there. I just don't have access, don't provide access publicly, whether that's for purchase or for free use. You guys, and Tyler mentions this in his video, and I would concur with him, you guys can go and use a powerful tool like Terapeak and eBay to really refine your own searches. And I believe that you can refine your searches better than what Card Ladder, Collect X, Market Movers, and any other of these new tools that seemingly are popping up, you can refine the data better, the eBay data better than they are even doing, because it takes proper scripting, multiple dynamic checks, looking at data multiple ways before it omits data. Unfortunately, Terapeak gives us very simplistic type data filtering that we can do, and that's what we're going to put in place next. So right now, if we go ahead and we search through, look, we're still pulling up the baseball cards section. We're still pulling up these pick oddball inserts, which some of those are going to be Michael Jordan cards. Some of those aren't. There's 641 of these cards that have sold. Only one or two of these likely are Michael Jordan cards. It's still pulling up packs and boxes. It's still pulling up a lot of just garbage data, in my personal opinion. So I want to teach you how to help refine that data just a little bit further. So I've already pre-built a line of command, and the way how this works, if there is a word that you want to intentionally omit, you just put a dash or a minus symbol. You do not put a space, and immediately following that, you put the word. So we're going to put minus pick, minus RP. RP is often represented for reprint cards. I don't want to understand the market cap of reprint cards because I want nothing to do with reprint cards. So I'm going to omit the word reprint and reprints. Because it's Michael Jordan, I want to omit the word shoes and t-shirts. The double quotations is another way of advanced search. Whenever you have a string of words, that could be two words, you put it in the double quotations and it'll ensure that it looks at those two words as a group of words. In this case, the t-shirt spelled out with the dash in the middle, I wanted to make sure that it was represented. So I encompassed or wrapped it in double quotation marks. And so minus t-shirts, minus T as in t-shirts, minus finish as in finish your set, minus packs, minus pack, minus box, minus digital. We've all seen those listings for digital cards. Every once in a while, they fool us and you think that you're seeing an amazing deal on a card. And then you recognize that it is a digital card. Kind of scammy in my personal opinion, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, you guys could choose to refine this even further. Maybe there's something that you guys also want to see refined. But for the data set that I want to share with you guys here in a moment, this is the data string that I want to share with you guys. I want us to at least start getting comfortable with. It'll refine this number even further. So I want to research this, and it dropped my category. So I'm going to go re-add my category. I'll show you here in a second of how we make it so it doesn't drop that category. So again, my category is sports trading cards, which is found in the sports mem cards and fan shop. So we're going to click sports trading cards. Again, if I click this down, you could refine this even further. We don't want to do that. We're just going to keep it at sports trading cards. I'm going to click apply. And all of a sudden we come up with a market cap of Michael Jordan sports cards that sold between the 1st of January 2023 through the 31st of December 2023, a 365 day per year per view. Can't get that out today. If you want to keep this sports card selection, you simply toggle this. And then if we change the name here, which I'll show you here in a moment, because we will look at not only Michael Jordan, we're going to look at Tom Brady, and we're going to look at Shohei Ohtani's data analysis. And because I want to show you some, what I believe are significant errors, at least as I perceive them, and the way how I like to do data analysis versus what Tyler did in his type of data analysis, which again, I'm pretty confident he's just putting in the player's name, and whatever is associated with that player's name is what he's calling their market cap. But now if we come down here, you're going to see, okay, there's still some Jordan's, lots that are being encompassed, but we've removed a lot of the noise. Now, you could go and refine these out very specifically. The reality is you're never going to have a perfect search. And that's possibly a challenge that Tyler has run up against. And that's possibly a reason why he is keeping a very generic search. I think that there's opportunity for you guys to clean up the searches, and generally with most of the type of the cleanup that we've put in place, it's just creating a better opportunity and more relevant data for you guys. Now, you guys can refine further. You guys now have some additional advanced searching techniques that you guys can implement. And I would encourage you guys to really spend some time refining and learning how to more accurately search. What I will tell you is I'm more confident that this $49 million number from a Michael Jordan sports card market cap is more relevant to the actual market cap of Michael Jordan than the $79 million Michael Jordan market cap that Tyler has been representing. So let me bring you over to this spreadsheet. So I have mimicked some of Tyler's data. I went directly from the spreadsheet that he has on his video, and I have targeted a couple of individuals. I was going to do the top 10 individuals. Unfortunately, I pared it down to just the number one for the three major sports: football, baseball, and basketball, that being Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and Shohei Ohtani, and that is based upon current market caps. When we look at Tyler's data, he was representing in 2023 a market cap of $79 million. I'm about $30 million less based upon the refinements that we've put in place. I believe the market cap is closer to $50 million, sitting at $49,581,000 and some change. That is a 37% difference between the number I'm reflecting as a Michael Jordan sports card market cap of eBay data versus a Michael Jordan market cap that includes tennis shoes and apparel and anything and everything with Michael Jordan's name associated with it. I would agree that his market cap on eBay is nearly $80 million. But from a sports card perspective, I believe the $49 million that I just kind of shared the exercise with you on how to refine, I believe it's really a much closer representation of what the actual market cap is. And as you guys can tell, it's significantly different. It's $30 million difference. You guys will have to determine for yourself. And getting back to some of what TC was challenging me on why my numbers and my perspective of the overall marketplace is different than some of the data and analysis Tyler was presenting in his video. These are major reasons as to why. Is Tyler wrong in what he was doing? No. Is he making an error that is intentionally representing data? No. I'm not saying that what he's doing is wrong. He's made a choice where Tyler was probably could have improved upon was be a little bit more specific on how that market cap was designed. That's about the only thing I honestly would see that Tyler could have done differently. Outside of that, I think most of what Tyler was trying to represent was awesome and really good and impactful data for all of us to use. But I think that there's ways for us to improve upon it. And I would encourage you guys to take some initiative and start pulling market cap data for yourself. I think that you could use Tyler's template and really get some beneficial information that you can know and trust versus having to go pay for it. Because again, not only would you pay for a Market Movers or a Card Ladder or some of these other third-party apps, but the data that you're paying for is genuinely not clean. And if it's not clean, because it takes a lot of time and attention to make sure that it's clean, then what you could do from your own data analysis is improve and honestly provide yourself better data analysis than what those types of tools are actually providing you. So I would certainly encourage that. I know Tyler encouraged you guys not to use those sorts of apps in his video. I would echo his. I would just add some additional caveats because I also don't agree with a lot of the data that those tools have provided. And I have used the tools, the free versions of those tools, to really do a deep dive. That'll probably be a video we'll look to do here in 2024. But why is this important, right? Why take the time to really get into Tyler's data? It's not because I want to beat Tyler up or, share an error. Part of it's to address TC's question, but part of it is to ensure that when you guys are hearing people like myself and Tyler, when we're providing market analysis, that you hold us accountable for the way we pull data, from where we're getting it, make us prove our work in essence. And that's partially what I'm trying to prove to you guys is I'm proving my work. Now I want to take that and I want to put it inside Tyler's template when we take a look at Michael Jordan. We'll talk about some projection stuff here in a minute. That'll be fun. That's all, that's nothing more but fun data. There's no actual advantage I would encourage you guys to take from that, but I definitely think that'll be a part B to this that you guys can take away with as a bit of learning and fun. So let's get back to the market analysis. Looking at pasting our views in, or our data analysis or data points in Tyler's data trend set. Excuse me. We're considerably off on 2023. If I go do the exact same thing on 2022, we're also about 36% off. He's representing nearly $80 million. I'm representing closer to 50 million. And then in 2021, there's a caveat I want to talk about here. And I think I might have one of these screens pulled up right here. So because I'm pulling this data on February 1st, 2024, Terapeak will only, and eBay will only let you see 3 years worth of prior sales data. So you cannot replicate a full year of 2021 if you go try and replicate exactly what Tyler has done. The data is no longer available for the month of January through February 5th. It's no longer available to you guys. So I've mentioned to you guys, I use an API monthly to pull down eBay data and other sports card marketplace data. And so I went to my database and I had to pull 2021's data analysis. This is, again, the data has been scrubbed with a number of scripts that I have. That's why I have the numbers colored slightly different, because I want to call out that these numbers are not from Terapeak. These numbers are from my database as it's concerning 2021. And as you can see, there was about a 13% discrepancy between my number and what Tyler was representing from a 2021. But this number is coming from my database. It is only eBay data. It's coming directly from eBay's API. Again, I would take all of these numbers with about between a 7 and 10% plus minus deviation from an error perspective, because eBay will remove listings if they've been, flagged as fraudulent. And so some of my data possibly has some of those old historical data points in there that has not been scrubbed after the fact. So you take that into account. So anytime anybody is sharing market mover analysis, if it's a sports card radio guys, and they're talking about market movers data, if it's Card Ladder and you're watching their videos and they're giving you market trending and analysis, anybody who does this type of analysis, you need to take all of this with a certain grain of salt, because there is a certain plus minus deviation, which rarely gets talked about inside the market analysis type content here on YouTube. So plus minus 10%, it's closer to about 7%, but for to be a little bit extra or a little bit more precautious, I would tell you plus minus 10%. So why is this important? Tyler was representing about a 36% decrease between 2021 to 2022. That's the percentage change between those 2 years. Again, I'll just quickly flash over to his. I see it significantly different. I see that it's a 52% decrease between 21 and 22. That's nearly a 20-point deviation in the data. That's huge. That's huge, specifically from the number one largest market cap. Michael Jordan has, as an individual player, is the biggest player market cap across all of the sports card marketplace. So having a 20% deviation in his data, again, Jordan makes up nearly 10% of all sports card sales. That's a staggering number when you think one player makes up nearly 10% of the overall sports card marketplace. So when Tyler's data is 36% change and mine's 52% change, there's a pretty big difference in that data set. Pretty significant data difference in that data set. And by the way, Jordan's marketplace is fairly stable. He's a retired player. There's not much he can do to make his market cap go higher from a performance perspective. He's performed what he's going to perform, generally speaking. His market cap lives at this point in time based upon what he's already done. Somebody like Shohei Ohtani, who we'll talk about in a second, his impact on the field will actually change his market cap. Jordan can have very little impact on his market cap outside of what potentially he does socially, positively or negatively. When we take a look at these numbers from a Tom Brady perspective, again, Tyler's data to my data, it's not as staggeringly different. There's about a 19% difference. I'm at about $23 million. Tyler was representing about $29 million. Why is it less than Jordan? Well, Tom Brady has less of a market influence outside of sports cards and sports memorabilia than Michael Jordan does. Michael Jordan sells way more jerseys, way more shoes, way more apparel items than Tom Brady does. And that's why there's a $30 million deviation between Tyler's data and my data. My data is, about $6 million different, about 19 total percent. When we look at 2022, it's about a 16% deviation between what he was representing and what I'm representing. Again, 2021, this is from my database, about $58 million. It's about a 15% deviation. It's fairly flat. It's kind of in this trending line. And we all know Tom Brady's market's gotten softer year over year over year as he's no longer relevant. We're not going to see a movement in Tom Brady's market, generally speaking, in the positive direction, in an extremely positive direction until it gets closer and closer to his actual Hall of Fame announcement. Of course, he is a foregone conclusion from the Hall of Fame, so take that with a grain of salt. Even though I do project, and we'll talk about this here in a minute, we'll still see some positive momentum based upon some very loose projections when we kind of project out 2024. We look at Ohtani. Ohtani had a monster 2023. So between 2022 and 2023, there was this massive increase. His market, Tyler had it representing 138% increase in his market. I actually show it as greater than that. I show it as 146%. His total market cap, Tyler was showing 43 million. I'm showing it's closer to 35 million. It's about 18% deviation there, about a 21% deviation. And then you're going to see we drop all the way down. We're darn near bordering one another. Again, Ohtani's market on eBay is very small outside of sports cards. When we look at his general, what sells specifically back in 2021, this is a player that was hurt back then. He wasn't as relevant as he is today. And so he just wasn't moving a lot of other products. He wasn't associated with a lot of products. So that's why you're seeing less than 1%, 0.19% is what the deviation of Tyler's data to my data. When we look at that again, it's about between 2021 and 2022, it was about a 10, 13% deviation. But it swings the opposite direction. It's about a 13% deviation in the positive in 2023. Again, Ohtani's hurt this year from a 2024 perspective. He'll only be hitting, he may hit 60 home runs. And if he does, that'll send his market again continuously trending in a positive direction. But Ohtani, because he's not pitching, because he's not two-way this year, a two-way player, if he has a mediocre bat this year, we could see Ohtani's market take an impact. That said, I want to look at some 2024 data. I think I've kind of shared some perspectives why I think some of what Tyler's data is doing isn't refined enough, even though he's trying to use greater market data to talk about sports card markets. And he really is referencing them as the sports card marketplace. But the reality is I think we've proven that that's not the case. You guys could go look at these other athletes, just type in their names, and you could, look at Tyler's data and prove for yourself. I've done some additional analysis before making the video. I'm pretty confident that's what Tyler's doing. Again, if he's watching, I'd encourage him to add some feedback in the description below, or let's get on a video together. Let's get on a podcast together. I'd love to maybe interview him and talk through, market analysis. I think that might be an interesting video. As we look at 2024, we've got about a month and 6 days in the books. We're at the end of the evening here on the 6th of February. But, I took a look at January 2024's data, and, generally we're up. Generally, we're up pretty high. Specifically, I pulled out the Michael Jordan. That market cap for the month of January was $6.6 million, which is higher than it was January of 2023. That's a great sign. That's a very positive, bullish type momentum. When we look at Tom Brady, he's at $3.1 million market cap for January 2024. That's up from January 2023. Again, a very positive, bullish movement. Ohtani is still up higher at $2.8 million. Again, bullish when we look at his year over year. We can use some of this data, and it's very loosely put together, but we can throw together a number of formulations or formulas and formulate a projection based upon some of this data. We're looking at these based upon historical trends, month over month, peak season, percentages gained month over month. There's a whole equation that I threw together. I'm not going to bore you guys to death. If you guys are interested in a video like that, let me know in the description below, and we can get into how you can throw together really rudimentary, very rough projections, right? Because at the end of the day, we can talk about historical data. It's what it is. Me and Tyler can find alignment, I'm sure, on historical data. When we start talking about forward-looking projections, that's where things get a little bit more nuanced. So there's some nuance here. This is not anything that's financial advice. This is just me throwing together some fun projections very loosely. You guys should take this with a grain of salt. These are just a fun perspective. It should be taken as entertainment and solely entertainment. Right now, based upon how January performed and a number of factors that I threw in, and I'm not going to talk through those today, 2024 Michael Jordan market cap could end up being upwards of $70 million, which is 30 million more than what I would project he did last year. That's a huge move. So the 2023 to 2024 estimated projection, very loosely put together, only for entertainment, we could see an upward move, upwards of 42% in Michael Jordan's marketplace. Not perfect science how we got there. There's lots of discrepancies. In fact, I will be very, very, very honest. There's lots of holes I would personally poke in the way that I threw these together. That's why I'm calling these entertainment and fun only. But I wanted to share I am bullish in 2024. I've been very bearish. All my content related to the market prior to the last video at the beginning of January in this space. And this video, I've talked about the downtrend of the market. Right now, there's factors related to the US economy and the greater world economy, the stock market, crypto markets. If you don't think those things impact the sports card market, you're wrong. They do. The jobs market, all of these other market factors impact people's availability to spend on luxury items. I don't call sports cards an asset class. I do agree that they can be assets. The vast majority of sports cards are not assets because the vast majority of sports cards are worth less than $1. Certain sports cards can be assets. They can be a place to put money in and expect future returns in a positive direction. Generally, I look at these as luxury items, and that's just how I paint the picture of the world when I think of sports cards. When I look at when I use that exact same calculation based upon the January numbers for Tom Brady, we could be looking at a $25 million market cap in 2024 with very loose projections. That's an 8% increase, quite a bit of ways from what Michael Jordan's market cap could look like. That's the deviation in how I built these loose projections. When we take a look at Ohtani, again, Ohtani, this does not factor in that Ohtani is an active player, that he is currently partially injured and potentially could miss time during the season. Poor performance on the field is, potential poor performance on the field is not a part of this equation. These are just, data points, math more than it is based upon performance of the athlete. But loosely, you could see a projection of Ohtani's market cap increasing to $44 million this year. That would be close to a 25% increase. Again, we could project these kind of very loosely. If you guys want me to do a video of how you can, one method to look at 2024 or forward projections, I'd have to think through how I would want to put that together, because it could turn into financial advice. And, God forbid, I would not want somebody to take my data analysis and make a position on a card and then have that fall in their face for other factors that they weren't looking at. And I certainly wasn't teaching them. And so, that may not be something that we go down, but if you guys are interested, we could at least very loosely kind of walk through ideas of how something like this could be reviewed. So let me know in the comments below. Tyler, appreciate what you're doing. As you can see, I'm a subscriber. Like the channel. I like what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. Any feedback that you want to leave us, I will at you on this one. So you will be tagged. Hopefully you get a chance to watch this all the way through. If you'd like to collab and get on a podcast together and kind of talk through market analysis, I'd love to do that with you. Hit me up, info@chasingmajors.com. That is my email. Go check us out over at chasingmajors.com. That is our web address, but you can hit me up there and we could certainly try and coordinate something that way. If you guys are interested in seeing a video like that, go encourage Tyler to participate in something like that. Certainly go check out his channel if you're not already actively watching his channel. But the fact of the matter is, if you're watching my channel, you're probably already watching his. The fact that I hadn't got tuned in or plugged into his channel until the last week or so is actually kind of interesting to me. So I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you're still here. If you are, you're a real one. You know what to do. I'm just going to chat with you guys in the next one.